All right, this is the 2016 version of getting ready for the final proficiency in AP2. I do not have the rubric in front of me, but I'm just going to go through everything, and I trust that along the way I'll cover everything that you will be graded on. I'll try to put in our YouTube notes or somewhere if I figure out I forgot something. So both watch the video and look for any clarifying notes on YouTube or in our Canvas page. Okay, when you come in, you might come in and roll a cable. There might be a spaghetti collection of cables on the floor, and you can just go ahead and take the initiative, come a little early, roll one. It's going to be part of your grade, so when you come in here for your proficiency, you can just lay the cable right here and you'll get a grade for that. The person before you should have everything zeroed, and the Pro Tools session should be reset to before they did anything with it, what it looked like before they did anything with it. So out in the control room, plugged into the panel over there in number 5 is something called a tone plug. A tone plug simulates, it's almost like somebody sitting in a microphone and whistling just the whole time. So if you wanted a test signal and you had a friend out there whistling, that you could do that. If you're like me, you don't have many friends, then you can get something like a tone plug that'll do the whistling for you. So it's plugged into number 5. It's powered by phantom power. And if we had Superman vision, we could see a red light on the top of it. Once phantom power hits it, it has a red light. So we know it's creating a sound. Okay, so it should be coming in number 5 here, and we see nothing. That's just super fantastic. So we get to do some troubleshooting right away. Let's go see if that red light is on. I actually don't see it from in here. Okay. Yeah, so the thing is off. Let's move into another, maybe number 9, and see if I have any different luck. I was on for a second, then it popped off. Wow, that's just crazy. On and off, on and off. Okay, well, I'm just going to show you what we would be doing. So for the exam, I might plug in a dynamic microphone and play some music on my phone next to it or something like that, something to create sound. Alright, so we're going to have to use our imaginations here. Alright, so what we should expect to see is this green light kind of flickering or being on, meaning sound is coming in. Even before we touch the fader or the preamp, that should be happening. This is going to monitor incoming signal. And then this is going to monitor, the meter bridge is going to show the sound going out of the channel. So for something like a Shure SM58, 57, we're going to turn this preamp to about 80%. And then we'll pull up the fader, and we should see, we would be seeing signal on this meter right here at that point. Once there's sound on this meter, that means it should be available in Pro Tools. So that's going to be our next step. Let me backtrack. I want to confirm that there are no outputs activated. Alright, I may have shown something different in the other video, but no outputs. We're going to listen to this microphone and everything else after Pro Tools. So we don't have two different worlds going on in terms of monitoring. It's just going to be all coming from Pro Tools, both for us and for the headphones. Okay, so at this point, I would have to find a track, maybe this one. I'm going to color it a different color, that orangish track. And it'll all be named and colored, and these tracks might have sound on them and stuff. And it wouldn't register sound until two things happen. Until one, you identify the correct input, and secondly, you have to hit this red button. In the professional systems, there's a letter I right here, meaning monitor input, and that also would bring any sound coming from the Mackie console onto this meter. So we're going to pretend that we're successful in this regard. Let's create a click track so we can create some noise. So here's some noise. Okay, so the output is analog 1 and 2, and that corresponds to 17, 18. These white knobs are microphone preamps. This Pro Tools is not a microphone, so that means you do not need to touch this button. The sound is already coming in at optimal level. If you touch this button, you lose points. On my way down, I'm going to confirm that pre is activated for auxiliaries, and if I want to hear this stuff, I'm going to activate a chosen output. I choose left and right, pan them left and right for any stereo information. I'm going to pull it up, and in order for me to hear it, I would have to pull up the master fader. Now we can see our sound on our fader. In order for me to hear it, we turn on the control room. If you turn on the studio monitors, you lose points. We are not in the recording studio. That's the recording studio. We don't want to turn the speakers out there, create feedback, annoy some musicians, and have a degree of, or an air of unprofessionalism about us. We don't want to turn up speakers accidentally. So don't touch the studio knob. We are in the control room, so we turn up that. In terms of getting sound to the headphones, that's the last thing we got to do. Our Q mix for AP2 is going to be the bottom half of Pro Tools. If they say they want more or less of something, we're going to adjust the mix in here. All right? And they'll be all set. And the way we get this sound into their headphones is 17 is the left side of Pro Tools, correct? So we go up to auxiliary 1, and that would be their left headphone. 18 would be everything from the right channel from Pro Tools is sending sound here, so we would only want to turn up auxiliary 2 to send to the right headphone. And we need to be really conservative with these levels, maybe 30 or 40%. We've blown headphones around here because people get a little overambitious with their levels with auxiliaries. And these also may be around 30 or 40%. They have a knob out there to control their volume, and they can probably adjust it from there, but we don't want to send them a super hot signal. Okay, well that should be it. Pre-fader, yes. Output, yes. Did I do everything right? I think I did. Yes, I did. If the client says they sense a delay, if they're playing or singing and they feel like the sound coming to the headphones is late, let me show you how to adjust that. So that has to do with the buffer size. Playback engine. And right now it's a small sample size. That's good. For recording, you want a small buffer. It means the computer will think about less, but it will think quickly. That's the trade-off. It'll work quickly, but it can only thinks about less information. So it might freeze up if you're doing a big mixing session at 64 or 32 samples. If we go all the way to the largest one, that's when, if you come in and they say there's a delay, that's probably what they're experiencing. A very large buffer size means the software can think about a lot of stuff, but there's going to be a trade-off of things are going to be a little bit slow. Maybe you hit the space bar and there's a long delay, or things like that. When you talk, you can kind of sense it coming back to the headphones slightly later. Okay, well that's all I got. I hope this was uber helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Again, look at the notes at the bottom, because I'm in a rush here and I may have forgotten something very important. So look at any notes, text, documents, emails, YouTube, video, comments, for any clarifications. Okay? See you guys.